Mr. President, I would also express a concern about one more matter. During her time in the Clinton White House, 1995 to 1999, Dean Kagan, now Solicitor General Kagan, served in the White House Counsel's Office and later as Director of Domestic Policy Counsel in the White House. That is one of the few extensive public records that she has, and we need to obtain the documents relating to that service in advance of the hearings that now have been set for June 28th. I think it's a rush to get ready for June 28th, but I told Senator Leahy, our chairman, he's the boss, and we'll try to be ready the 28th. But we both know that it is important to have these documents in time to examine before the committee, because so little other documents exist as to the to her public record. All the documents that have been requested, I believe the committee is entitled to see. Senator Leahy has joined with me. He led the letter, and I was signed on to it. It appears that President Obama has decided not to assert any claims of executive privilege that would block the production of any of these documents. But we received a letter from the Clinton Library on Friday, where these records are held, indicating that they understand that President Obama will not make any claims of privilege. The White House recognizes that these documents are an important part of Ms. Kagan's record. In fact, after she was nominated, the White House sent a public letter to the National Archives asking release of documents relating to her service in the Clinton White House. And they included all of her email and documents. But the White House request and media requests on the FOIA are different from the committee request. Committee request, so last week, Chairman Leahy and I sent the letter to the Clinton Library requesting these documents. I appreciate the leadership of Senator Leahy, who's been through so many of these confirmation matters, and this is consistent with our history, and I appreciate him leading the letter to get this information. But I would note that there are important distinctions between the Obama White House's request and the committee's request. First of all, the restrictions that apply to run-of-the-mill Freedom of Information Act requests do not apply when the committee requests the documents. And second, under the Presidential Records Act, President Clinton would normally be able to block the release of certain documents for up to 12 years. But under the PRA, the committee's request overrides any attempt by President Clinton to block release of these records. Faced with a committee request, the only basis for withholding documents is executive privilege, but President Obama has apparently decided not to do that. So, Mr. President, the concern is that last week the director of the library was quoted in the Los Angeles Times as saying it would be, quote, very difficult, close quote, for them to comply by the June 28th hearing date. The director said, quote, there are just too many things here, close quote. And that, quote, these are legal documents and they are presidential records and they have to be read by an archivist and vetted by and for legal restrictions, and they have to be read line by line, close quote. So we received that in a letter we received on Friday. The library indicated that they will start delivering documents by June 4th, 3 weeks before the hearing, and then they will make additional deliveries on a rolling basis. They did not tell us by when they will provide all the documents. So I know they've got a hard job. Maybe they have to do all these things, but the fact of the matter is we've got a deadline that's been set by Chairman Leahy to start the hearing on June 28th, and we're not able to, in my view, conduct a good hearing if we don't have the documents. So I'm just trying to make clear to my colleagues that that we're heading to what could be a train wreck. I don't believe that this committee can go forward with an adequate hearing when the public record of a nominee of this importance to such a lifetime position as Justice on the Supreme Court, it can go forward without these documents in question. So, Mr. President, I hope we will get those in a timely fashion. If not, I think we'll have no choice but to ask for a delay in the beginning of the hearings.